Hi guys and welcome. So today I'm going to be providing a short description of what dynamic query engine is, and I will be making some editing as well. So I was already asking, this is our, let me start by providing the Git repository, right? This is our, so so I basically put, we already have to describe this. I use the help of ChatGPT and some of the details that I have for that. It's not that one yet. This these are some of the details that we already contain. I want to modify this information a little bit better. So dynamic query engine basically provides the following endpoints. Okay, and one endpoint is to connect to a database. Another one is to list the tables in a database. Uh, once you have connected, of course. Then the other one is to get the columns of a particular table. And then another one is to get the actual data of a table. You actually are able to retrieve the information that is inside a table, and you could provide pagination. I think I haven't added, I need to add the pagination parameters for this section. That's some of the things that we haven't done yet. So this one requires more work. Uh, so this document will keep getting updated little by little. Then we have the other one, which is API execute query, executes a SQL query and returns the result. We have this one, but I'm not very familiar yet, haven't used it yet. So as we go along, you will get to see. This was actually first built by my coworker, Angel. So shout outs to him. And I have been making some modifications to it as well. And yeah, we're going to keep doing that. We're going to keep implementing more modifications to this project. So I like this description. I went to ChatGPT. In essence, dynamic query engine provides the following APIs. That's what I told ChatGPT. I basically copy pasted this information here. Can you I need to spell that. Can you describe me what dynamic query engine does based on the information provided above? So I like this description. It basically point number one, connecting to databases. And it goes about explaining the details, listing the tables in a database, listing columns of a specific table, retrieving data from a specific table, executing a SQL query. In summary, Dynamic Query Engine is a tool that provides dynamic and flexible interactions with databases through a set of RESTful APIs, and it allows users to connect to various databases. Actually, so far right now, you can only connect to Postgres. Explore database structures by listing the tables and columns. Retrieve data from tables with pagination support. It's still not done yet, actually. Execute custom SQL queries and get the results. I'm not sure about this one either. So for now, you know what? Let's copy this and then we'll make some modifications. Actually, uh, right now we are only supporting dynamic connectivity activity to PostgreSQL. What was the other thing? I am not sure how. So I'm going to be adding those details, right? So ChatGPT knows. We still have not added, I don't know how to call it, a variable constant, variable like identifier, I think it's called an identifier. Add it an identifier for maybe like this, page path, niche, still need to think about about this. What else? We just add the code base in one shot. But let's open it here also too, right? We have it here. Database navigator, execute query. Yeah, I guess we could send a query there. Yeah, but I'm not familiar, right? Yeah, yet, yet, figure how works. I have provided the code base above, and you determine. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna put I am not in you analyze that code base for dynamic query engine and explain how explain. Worked for sure. So we do have those parameters, but I don't see these parameters. Where are these parameters? Okay, I do see them here. You have the table name, but by default, yeah, we are setting a parameter already by default. This is the method get table data. This get table data method takes table name, integer the page, and then integer the size. This Spring class provides a way to execute SQL queries and handle the results set. It extracts a lot of boilerplate code required for database interactions. Dynamic queries. The queries are constructed dynamically based on the input parameters, allowing flexibility in querying different tables for executing arbitrary SQL commands. Pagination. The limit and offset clauses in the SQL are used for pagination, making it efficient to retrieve large data sets in smaller chunks. Response handling, the result are processed into a format suitable for HTTP responses, typically a list of maps where each map represents row with column names as keys. Understanding how these APIs work. Okay. And you create sample requests for these two APIs. So I can test them using Postman for verification for verifying that they work. So API, the table name, the method is get, right? So we're gonna use this API data, my table, page 0, size 10. Okay, let's try this. Let's go to, mhm. Okay, I guess when you put that, that's enough. And you follow it by this, and you put the page number. Okay, so let's go do, I have Postman already installed. You could just go online and download this, right? Postman. So let's try it with this data, right? Let's create a duplicate of this. Let's try it with student. Let's create a duplicate. We're gonna name this one. Yeah, we're gonna give it this actual name. Let's run the application. So now let's execute that. Oh, yeah, we need to connect to the database first. Let's connect to the database first. Successful connection. Now let's try the table. I need to put the table name here. So that's going to be a student. So this provides the first values. The columns, it uses the columns names, then the page size is 10. This is the number of rows that it has. And then these are the ID values. So now we're going to say size, say 3. And then we're going to say page number 1. This will be number 2, really. So page size is 3. So we gave her page 1. So the ID for this one is 4. We gave the page size of 3. If we give the page size of 10, how we had it before, then the next value here will be 11. You see, if we give the page size, basically saying for each page, we're gonna look through every 10 values, kind of like that. This value number 10, and we want the request 11. Yeah, that will be the page size and the current page that we are in it. So that's how this is working. Okay, so this is working as expected. That's great. Okay, now let's check the other one. I like this one. Let's check the other one. Um, this is a post query, I assume. So it's pretty good. No, let's not change that. We like that, and then we're gonna create. We haven't created one for query, so let's create a new duplicate. And I think this is a postman, right? This is a post. It should be post. Save. And in the query, in the body, authenticate. What kind of we want? We want to use raw. It's gonna be JSON. Oh, it's just a string, really. Like it's text. And then which table are we getting from? Which table? Student. Where column one, value one, column one. What would be the name of column? The column, let's say ID is equals to 3 or 2. To do that, let's see what do we have with it. So ID, yeah, ID is yeah, 1 or 2. The subname ID. Let's do still ID. Four dash steps. Univer, city, student level. Declaring statement callback, math SQL grammar. Provide me better instructions on how to perform a query using dynamic query engine. Okay, so let's try this again. It's actually, yeah, I did something wrong. I needed to provide a JSON. So let's try this again. All right, and this is gonna be JSON from, and this is gonna be student, where column one, where subname, let's say no, where ID equals some value. This value is gonna be equals to 2. Zero executing the demonstrate open back SQL query. Hmm. Let's see, ChatGPT can help us. Some value. You put I try it without following, or I data is. Let me make sure we are actually connected already first. Yeah, it seems like you're already connected. I am getting the following response. This ChatGPT you just gotta keep asking and asking little by little. The whole purpose is that it is to help you speed up the process, right? I guess we don't need that quotation, so they have corrected. So let's try it like this. Let's see if it works. Okay, because it's an integer. Yes, it's an integer value. Still is not working. So we need to determine why. Let's look into the code now. This is not going to lie to us. SQL query, blah, blah. I just ask one random question. I think it's control. I think it's shift O B. Let me shift O B. Then I hit execute query. No, control. So let me use control O B. There you go. If you press control O B, it finds the implementation. So execute query. So we are using this is a string, right? We're using this in this SQL query. And so let's copy this. I'm gonna ask ChatGPT again. This is the code we are using for performing the queries. However, when I try to perform a query like the following, I and so to put it like that into paragraphs, you could press shift. Okay, is that shift I'm pressing? Yeah. Shift and enter, and it sends you another to another new line. I am using follow body for my query. No, not using the follow body. Okay, but let me start. Again, getting. I'm getting the following response from my query. Okay, there might be an issue there. Okay, let's try that. Right. First thing, ensure the SQL query is correct. That's not the right way. We need to do it like this. It does provide information from the student. From okay, so that's the information we get. So that means it's not getting the query. So we need to ignore those things there. So how can we do it? So this what this is saying is that we need to update it. Update the controller and service to handle SQL execution properly. Ensure that the request body is properly parsed and the query is correctly extracted and executed. Let's update the controller and service to include better error handling and logging. So we are not. So let's go find this, right? Execute query. Where is the query controller? So here, this is what we got. Okay. So yeah, we are passing it completely, the query. So the body of the query, as you saw, it looks different. It's a full body, right? The execution query. Let me open this again. So it was Shift or B, I think it is. Let me go to the other classic. Shift or B, Control O B. So it's Control O B to actually go to the implementation. Okay, like B of so like this. C T R L Alt B. To go to the implementation class. So now that we have that, let's go to the yes. In the request, we need to get only the query. So here, where do we have our execute query? Here. So from the request, oh, it says only that. Okay, let me see what do we have here. Execute query. So they are mapping it. Yeah, this it became a map, right? The stream. This is gonna say query. We need to do it this way. We need to do it like this. As a JSON dot query. About a bit. If we cannot do it like this might work. Let me try just this, right? Let me remove this. If you do it like this, it might work. I think this is the solution that we currently have. No, it didn't work. Also. Why not? We're passing the string like that. Then here we're mapping it as an object. That's right. Mhm. So there was no correlation in both places. Okay, so here, unless we put like a string, let me see if I try to just put a string. I think we need to make it still return this way. Okay, so let's go back. Let's undo our changes. Let's change the name for this. Name. That's not working. So let's go back. The other way should work. Let's put it the other way. So that's one. So we have the request parameter. There is a request that is a map object. So it's going to contain return back. This is going to be the key, right? The string, and then this is going to be the query. I don't like that as a query. 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 Oh, we already have the fund definition. Okay, this not weird like that. So we had a request. Yeah, this is actually entire request, right? We had a request, and from the request, we're getting the query. Actually, this is better. And then we're getting the query key, and then now execute query. We don't need to change that information here. We're going to change the execute query details. Even this has to change. And that's not being given here. See? Data Service Navigator. Database controller, no, the Database Navigator service. We don't have such a file now. We don't have such a file. Okay, why is it giving that information? Maybe this is like outdated code. Database Navigator service. Where is this? That's we have the Database Navigator service. Maybe it's here, Database Navigator service. Yeah, there it is. So Yeah, we're only passing the string. So yeah, we don't need this actually. We're only passing a string. But this needs to return a list, right? Because we might get a lot of stuff. But we need the yeah, we might get a lot of stuff. Let me do one thing though. I think I don't know if I fetch everything correct. The code above seems to be outdated or different from what I have currently right now. Currently, right. And what is the complaint about? It's complaining about what? This very local bar. Maybe I need to create a local bar. So we connected to the database. Now let's execute this query. No data source set. What do you mean no data source set? Oh, maybe we need four dash that's dash university. It's not that issue still either. It did work. Okay, this is working, right? If you just do it like that. But then this one, hmm. Okay, so this is what I'm gonna do for now. Let's ignore this for now. Let's forget about this. something is wrong here. So we verify that this was correct, right? So we verified that that one works correctly. So we're good there. Now, what I'm going to do is actually pass the correct code base to this code base. There's something wrong about it. So I'm going to open this, right click, open with Explorer. This dynamic query engine must be an outdated code base. So dynamic query engine, we're going to show options and we're going to send it as a zip drive, send to zip folder. So now we're going to tell ChatGPT is that the above code is outdated or different from what I have currently right now. And we updated everything, right? The project. Let's do an installation with success. So let's run the application again. It's running. Now let's try to do the query. Let's look at the query. So this is our query again. We still have this. Please update date. Let's see. Cannot access. Why cannot access that code? There is no database navigator service. Instead, we have the following file. I think we only need to add that one little thing, right? Let's copy this and see what will be the difference. Oh, still not completed. So yeah, we added I needed to add that, yes, the query SQL to be executed. So he adds that. Yes. So like I was saying, right? I think it was only in here, navigation controller, we only need to parse this section. So it would be a string query equals, or wait. Let's take a look. Should be requested, okay? Should be a requested. Switches to this will be a map. Let's change it to a string. Let's see if it matches with what ChatGPT tell us. Yeah, that's exactly what we have. They still have a list. Why are they using an object? Oh no, that's fine. But here it should be a string. There you go. We have a string. So and then interface should be a string also. Yes. So I think we're good now. So if we run it again, let's stop it. Let's do a maybe install. Then no compilation issues, so that we can run it. Let's go to Postman. Let's run this. No, okay, we need to connect to the data first. There you go. We're getting the response then. Great, great. So this is great. So for now, we're able to resolve that. Do we need to have that though? That's what I'm asking myself. Do we even need to have, why have this body like this? What are your recommendations in this matter? So it can be more user-friendly for certain scenarios, especially when interacting with APIs via tools like Postman's or simple scripts. It simplifies the request structure and obvious unnecessary wrapping of the query in the JSON object. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Simplify recommendation, simplify request format. Using a plain string makes the request more straightforward and easier to compose manually. Ensure that all endpoints that require similar input formats follow the same design principle for consistency. Security considerations always validate and sanitize the input to prevent SQL injection attacks. Mhm. So yeah, it would be like that. What else will it do? Database service. Still a string, right? That will match. I will ask if that code happens in their code base, right? Yeah, we do that. So what I'm gonna say is this, not that. When first I'm gonna tell him when you provide a response to any of my my runs regarding a code base update, can you only provide the code base changes and not the entire file, just to avoid redundant information and to maintain simplicity. Also, ask me questions that you might have to improve upon improve the code. For example, for example, you recently mentioned it to always validate and sanitize that input to prevent SQL injection attacks. This is something you can ask me. You can ask me if I want to also implement it into the new code solution. Talk to me like you are giving me advice on how to improve that code. So let's see what do we get now. I will focus on providing concise post updates and advice for improving your code base or daily code snippets. You see, that's all I want. That's all I want. I don't need that much stuff. Or data controller, right? Execute. We are using the string now. We'll be using the string only. Advice for improving code, input validation and sanitation. Do you want to implement input validation and sanitation to prevent injection SQL attacks? This is important to ensure malicious SQL codes. Yes, I do. Yes. Yes. Help me. Help me implement points one, two, three questions. Info validation. Do you want to implement merges to validate and sanitize SQL to prevent? Okay, instead of providing both advice and questions, simply only provide me questions based on the recommended advices. Since based on last, how will you call this? Last response, it seems redundant, redundant information. And yes, for all the three questions. Great, let's proceed with the updates and improvement based on the confirmation. Info validation. We like to implement info validation sanitation to prevent SQL injection attacks. No, I do not have. I do not have any libraries in mind. It's for point number one. Implement it on one that you re recommend due to its security and simplicity. Advanced logging. What specific details would you like to include in the log for queries and operations? Do you have any preferred logging framework formats? What do we want? To be honest, I don't know what I want. Mm, I do not have any libraries in mind. for all the answers, simply implement what is considered best practices. And provide me information why why is the most suitable for our case. Understood. I will implement the following improvements based on best practices. Input validation. Use parameterized queries to prevent SQL injections. Okay. So we're providing a string check if credentials are met, right? This is what we said before. Yeah, we're gonna do that. Retrieve the key from the data source. Data source manages the key, so we pass in the credentials and we're getting the key, which is yeah. Where is this? Where is this? Just get key. This is another class. Dynamic data source manager. And then this one is calling generate key for database usage. What class is this? It's in the same class. Dynamic data source manager. Why he cannot read that opens? Why you cannot directly access the file contents? Let me go do some. How to change a repository from private to public in GitHub. Actually, yeah, let's do that. Can you read the contents of a repository in GitHub if it is private, or does it needs to be public? The repository is owned by four devs, which is an organization for which I am the owner. Let's say that. How to make the repository public? Danger zone. Scroll down to danger zone. Okay, so I went to settings, danger zone. Okay, here it is. You can see that. Change to public. Make this repository public. I understand. Okay, so it should be public now, right? This repository is currently public. Okay, so now that it's public, let's go here. Three commits behind main. Why is that? So I made that update, right? So let me take a look at code improvements and integration. let's look at integration and improvements. There's nothing because I already moved there, everything. And then main, I would be moving everything, right? I would be moving everything. So same as integration. So now, what do we need to do next? So the branch I'm working on right now is co-improvements. So I'm gonna tell it to read this. Read the code in read this branch to have an understanding the latest codes, and you can provide me more concrete answers to the three questions you've asked me before. No, but this is already public. What's he talking about? I recently made the repository public. Why you cannot read it? Bro, this thing's terrible, man. No matter which way I do it, cannot do anything. All right, no problem. Okay, so no choice to do a manual, right? Database navigator controller. That's one. Which one do you want? Database service. Database implementation. Database navigator controller. So, okay, so the database navigator controller. So let's see, what is it telling us to update? So in the query, execute query, yeah, we are going to have a string. Let's just copy paste that, see if there's any changes, right? Paste it here. It's taken as a query. It's going directly to a query with passing the string. And in the database service, database service, public interface, database service. So what do we have here? I think map string object. We're just passing the string. There's nothing to update here. Just copy, just to ensure. Yes, yes. Interface, response entity list. Oh, I copy everything. I don't even know what. Let's need this. Yeah, I don't think there's any update. Now, database service implementation. Here, response entity. Is a map list object execute query, still a string query. Credentials must be set. Okay, this is still the same. Navigate to. So if we have duplicates, let's see how we handle those. Retrieve key from data source, right? This one is get key. Is that here? Get key from the get database. Also you provide you with yes, we want to have everything. Yes. Input validation. We implement. mm, I think this is for this file. So for now, let me finish updating the other, right? Let me finish updating the other because I think it only changed this file. This is the only file it changed. I thought it was going to change, maybe impact these other files. That's why I wanted to ask first before copying all of this for no reason. So implement input validation and sanitation. So this is a data source implementation. So let's put this code here. Ooh, something went wrong. Something went wrong. Okay. Well, I did something stupid. Sorry. So this is only the code for the execute query. We're gonna just override it and see what changed. But still, I think we need to import this state. We need to import these classes. I'm gonna change this class also again. We will come back to those questions later. I thought to have an impact on the other Java classes. I provide. Let me know if that is the case. Uh, can you please regenerate all the changes, all the, all the recommended all changes with detailed comments every line. Wow, it gave me the entire context. Oh well. Okay. Database navigation controller. So let's look at the Git. What changed here? Git. Nothing changed here. Just a new line. We don't care about that. But we do have new imports here. Do have new imports. Even the prepare statement. Okay, we do have some changes here. Well, let's continue generating. I think I should have went into smaller pieces into the code because now it's going to be like a lots of changes. And I was trying to avoid that. Okay, so database service, so data, right? Database service. Database service implementation. What the heck? What happened here? Look, it's like he generated two classes here. There's something wrong here. Let's get back. Let's go back. See, it's a mess. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna reset everything. We're gonna start all over. We're gonna start all over. So yes, I do want to I do want you to implement info validation and sanitation. Let's start with that one first. Here are some files that might be impacted. One, first, I cannot paste here. Second, so dividing like that to be sure, right? Third, I'm not just gonna fit it. What was the last one? And this one, four. So we deleted everything that was below. I didn't care about the information. Below are the changes to implement input validation. Let's take it step by step, right? It's giving me the entire file. Didn't want it. Remember to only provide the sections of the code that are changing with detailed comments on each line. right? That's what we want. See if, yeah, so it includes that. Wow, you're still giving me error. Okay, so let's just wait. Okay. Dynamic data source manager. So data source context service. What happened with that? So you got removed here. Data source context service. You removed this to do implement a better key generation. So is that all you did? You removed that, and then you removed this data source. At the following fifth, 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 five. and regenerate code base if it has an impact only in the files, only if only for files which can cost an impact. Here is a data file considering the additional data source context service like Java in ensuring that code base uses thread local for managing the current JDBC template context. Dynamic data source management. Still the same thing. So this is like it's not being used. So why do we need it here? Good. Right? It's not being used. Why did that get generated? It's not a complete file yet. It's trying to create another file, but that failed. It's trying to change too much. Yo, it just see he's doing it again and again. It's happening here. Like he doesn't know what to do. Let me try to download this thing again. One more time. A ROSIT file. Wow, it seems like this time it worked. Okay. Okay, now I think he generated better. Okay, so let's copy data source context service. Data source context service. That's how we change it now. No. Oh, do something wrong. Data source context service. Doing something wrong. This what file is this? Data source. Wait, this is data source manager. This is data source manager. Data source manager, what is it saying? So we're actually removing the data source context service. We're not needing it according to them. We remove that, implement a better key generation. It's not bad key generation. This is good. So data service implementation, let's copy the specific code. Oh, it didn't completely get generated. So let's keep going. Let it keep going. Connect to database dynamic. Still good. Seems to be still the same way we did it last time. Now let's pause. Provide, provide only the parts where code changes are required, not the entire file. because I feel like he's trying to do everything, just keep getting stuck. Database service implementation. Yeah, that's the only part we need, right? Okay, so we are moving it here. Data source context service for managing GDBC template instances across different threads. Data service implementation. Okay, so now let's see what's happened. We have like split query, right? Which is gonna come as a string. The credentials. This the credentials. We already store the credentials here. Once we do the connect to database, they get stored into the class. So just want to check if the credentials are not null, credentials must be set before calling this method. That's one way to check. And then input validation. If is valid query, we need to put these other methods. Let's put it at the bottom. Oh, the third is valid query. Let's see. Basic validation to prevent SQL injection. String SQL pattern. So it needs to be that is going to get data relation use data source context for managing because the interesting across different jurisdictions ensure recursion. Provide provide detailed comments for each line of wall. Checking the credentials. This part I know already. Input validation. Validate that input SQL query for an injection. Logs that error and returns a 400 response back request but no. If the query does not pass validation. Okay. Retrieving data source key. Dynamic data source manager key. Database credentials. Obtain that unique key associated with the current database credentials. This key is used to retrieve the corresponding JDBC template. Yes. Getting JDBC templates. Get the JDBC templates with the current database connection. This JDBC template is used to execute SQL queries. Executing the query. Execute the SQL query safely using the prepare statement. So create a prepare statement. Creates a prepare statement to execute the query in column map row mapper. Maps each row of the result to set to a map. So each row of the result set to a map, okay. Returning the result. Return response entity that okay result. Error flag. Error executing query. Handle exception. Handle any exception that occurs during every execution. Flags the error, returns a 500 response with the error message. Okay. Validation methods. Validating SQL query. Ensures the query only contains allowed characters to prevent SQL injection. Those are the only allowed characters. Okay. These changes ensure that all SQL queries are validated to prevent SQL injection and that DDBC template instances are managed safely using thread local for each thread context. And now this is better, right? This looks way better. We're handling one by one, not a bunch of them. We just put a comment here. This isn't the new way. Well, we have two variables now, the query, the actual query and the next section. So this makes sense. But this changed it completely. So we were just using JDBC query for this list. And now we are using something else, query, and then we are doing override, new prepare statement. Replace with a lambda function. Okay, let's try that. Ooh, that looks way better. So what are they doing here? So that's the parameter, and the com parameter has, what was this defined? Send that. It's here. It's a matter of testing it out. Maybe map each row of the result set to a map with column names as keys. Column names as keys. Let's run it. Let's see what happens. Right? So let's just stop this and let's do a Maven. Let's do a clean compile and install. Now that we have that, let's should do a run. Application started. So now let's open Postman. Let's run this one first to see if it's working. Credentials, oh yeah, connect to the database first. This happened successfully. And the only part that we changed really, like we saw, right, is this section. So let's see, it's a lot of code here. We only changed this, the invalid query, and the execute query. Everything else, well, some things we are not. Let's clean I'm gonna press Control Shift O L, and I'm gonna optimize the input. So I need to rearrange code to that. So it's gonna clean everything that is not needed. So mainly everything that changed, like I was mentioning, is the execute query. What is this? I don't know what happened here, but it's like quickly the same thing. It just move a line down. Something. Yeah, it just moved down. That's about it. See that no difference here. Let me see. If I do. Let's leave it that. Okay, so it's working, right? Are we able to get a response on this? No, not able to get a response. Yeah, because we changed everything. So I'm sorry, this is not the right way. It's now a string, using the string. We want to keep it simple. That was the idea. So we do that, still about request. How about we just put text? Still not working. Hmm. Oh, it does work. You pass it as a string, as a regular string. So it is working. Okay. Surprise me. So that is working. Now I want to return something that has more than just the ID. Let's look at the table student. What can we return? What happens if we use this word? More complex. Simple. Complex. No, that didn't work. Select ID, subname, student ID, marks obtained. Run this. This runs. So it should be able to work here also. Back quest. Let's look at why. Invalid query. Select ID. Oh, we had the word public. I think that's the problem. Public. Let's remove such a learning from student. Forget it. Student. Incorrect actually too. Should be this. Let me try. That's not working either. So we still need to fix that. So If I execute able to execute, execute the following query success. Again, right, you see that. Oh, e.g. admin and it. What's the name of this application? I'll make it query engine. However, I cannot execute the following where we try to remove this. Use the word public. Public is the schema. Still works. You need to have public. So keep that it works. What happened? Hitting me. Works for both. Works in dynamic, very dynamic, very engine. Dynamic, engine. Add Right. Then there only works in each adequate. I think it has to do with the characters, possibly. Let's look at the characters. The star should be allowed, right? SQL pattern. Okay, that is allowed. What else we have here? Commas should be allowed. It is there. Let's analyze. To understand and address the issue where a specific query works in PGApping but not in the dynamic query engine, we need to ensure that query execution process in the dynamic query engine handles the SQL properly and returns the correct result. Here are steps to diagnose and potentially fix that issue. Validate the query. Ensure the query syntax is correct. We don't exist in database. That is true. And yes, we already validate. Maybe this is messing it up. Are we doing it like that? Let's try like this. How they have it. So let's install. Let's rebuild. Let's run. Sorry, let's execute the simple, yeah, simple, and then the complex story. Oh, something wrong about this subjects learning. They're able to get that information. So it's learning. Yes. Yes. So, this is the login response. Perform. Keep this guy. What else? What else? This is how I get modified. summary of code changes and code comments. No, each successfully again. We're still able to execute this query. And then let's see about this one. We got a good response now, finally. What did we get? I don't know how many rows it was supposed to be, but we did get a response. That is good. It is a lot of content. There's so much content that I think this got stuck on it. Yeah, it's a little stuck. There it is. This is awesome. Actually. It's working now. Perfect. So you can just perform like it's like an SQL database almost. Now we have natural language with the transformer into something like this. Yeah. So this is great. Now that we have this, I think it's time to commit it. Uh, yes. So now let's say all is working as expected. Let's thank TGP. Thank you. And then let's say, please generate me a commit message, paste everything we work on this conversation to accomplish these changes. Let's change this. enhances SQL query validation and error handling in database service implementation. Updated execute query method to include detailed comments for better understanding. Relaxed SQL validation pattern in is valid query method to allow a wider range of valid SQL. Added logging to capture detailed error messages for SQL exceptions. Ensure prepare statements are used for executing queries to prevent SQL injection. Improved overall error handling and logging for better debugging and traceability. If this expires, I think wanted to know. To share it, chats eventually expire for GPT. The chats eventually expire for GPT. Okay, I didn't know that. And you create a document for this chat that I can transfer to Google Docs. It's terrible. But it will transfer like that looks. I don't know if it's needed there. I think we had a summary of that, right? What is dynamic query engine? Provide me another summary of what is dynamic. To be added to the documentation. It indeed documentation. Get it out. I also want Let's remove for destructor. You could find that right in the so let's export it. We're gonna do that. Export it to the latest version. We're gonna have a particular folder for storing these things. Postman collections. We already had this, so but we're gonna replace it. We're not gonna use that. That won't be. Okay, so now that we have it, Okay, I think that's enough for today. It's really late actually, so I'm just gonna make this commit and done. Okay. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. I'm gonna keep doing more like this. Basically, just working. This is how I work. It took a while to get here, as you see. It's not something that happens right away. Actually, there was a lot of actually I was actually planning to cut the video at certain pieces, but I might just leave it like that because it basically shows how long it takes to do certain things. But ChatGPT definitely those kind of tools are definitely great to use because they improve your velocity incredibly. Before, what I used to do is basically I used to go and find tutorials, video tutorials. I will watch those tutorials, then I will download the code base or copy the base, and that would take me a long time, right? And yeah, I would just copy the code base, read the tutorials. I was trying to reuse somebody else's code. That was my main objective. That's what you mainly do. We just had Google, and you have to go and review the code. But now with this technology, all you have to do is ask. But you have to ask the right questions. I hope this the video was helpful to you guys. That's how I use it. And if there is better ways to do, please let me know too, because like that I could learn. Yeah. Thank you. Have a good day and hope to see any comments. If you have any questions, let me know about it. Thank you. Bye.